The 5 worst physical withdrawals that you can go through. These substances are the top 5 substances when it comes to the crap you're going through when it comes to physical withdrawals. So honorable mention for physical withdrawals is going to be nicotine. Nicotine is not in the top 5 out of all the research that I did, but it is the honorable mention because of what it does when it comes to just anxiety, a little bit of that restlessness. A lot of the times the side effects with anxiety, the struggle sleeping, just a little bit of that exhaustion there. It does have a physical side, along when it comes to the oral fixation. Weight gain is something physical that can happen when you get off of nicotine because you have this oral fixation. So that is the honorable mention, but now on to the top 5 worst drugs to have physical withdrawals from. If you're new to the channel, hit the like and subscribe button. Number 5, crack cocaine. Crack cocaine is number 5 on the worst physical withdrawals. This is not mental withdrawals. When it comes to getting off of cocaine, crack cocaine, the reason that it's on the list and what you really experience is more of just fatigue and exhaustion. There isn't, like, you're not dealing with restless legs. Cocaine and crack cocaine do not bond to any pain receptors or do anything with your central nervous system or anything that will affect, physical wise of that. But when it comes down to crack use, a lot of times there's just fatigue, you're malnourished, you're not eating like you should, there's a lot of weight loss, so there's a lot of exhaustion, and it takes a while to gain all of that back. So that is the physical side of the withdrawal that you're going to notice when you come to this, and it is listed now as number 5 of the worst physical withdrawals. Number 4 is crystal meth. Crystal meth is the 4th worst physical withdrawal. Main thing is crystal meth, it lasts in your system a lot longer than crack cocaine does, or even cocaine. A high from this is going to last for, up to 7 hours. So when you do withdraw from this, there is a bigger exhaustion factor to it, a lot more fatigue. Also, there is what's called tweaking, essentially. And that is the withdrawal side where all of a sudden you have different sensory things going on where self-harm can become very common. When it comes to picking your skin becomes an issue. So physical withdrawals, you're not dealing with a lot of pain or anything, but you are, again, dealing with a lot of exhaustion. And you have to also remember, withdrawals happen to active addicts also. I've watched addicts who were on benders when it came to crystal meth. When they all of a sudden, it was out of their system, they're over this bender. I mean, they're passed out for hours and sleeping and sweating in areas that you have no idea how the hell they're doing this, but they are. Now, number 3, benzodiazepines. Now, this is when it gets interesting. So benzos are one of the 2 deadliest withdrawals. Benzos are Xanax, Klonopin, Ativan. These are benzodiazepines. The one thing when it comes to benzos, the most abused one is Xanax. Xanax pills, when they're sold on the street, are actually the 2nd most counterfeited pills that actually have fentanyl in it. But when it comes to benzos, there is a lot of physical withdrawal symptoms, a lot of body aches, because of what it does essentially to your central nervous system. It take your blood pressure, your heart rate, all this stuff, and put like a weighted blanket over it, and then rip that weighted blanket off, and your central nervous system gets hypersensitive. Your touch is off, just the senses is off, and how things feel sensory wise is off. It does give you some body pains. One of the problems is when your central nervous system gets hypersensitive, you can go into seizures really bad. And also it is fatal because it can put you into cardiac arrest because your blood pressure can go spike super high heart rate. It can drop very quickly. Very deadly withdrawal. If you are looking at withdrawing and you are addicted to Xanax, usually when it comes to benzos, a lot of times people will taper with their help of their doctor. There is different medication that you can get on, but it is definitely something not to quit cold turkey. It is something to definitely be respected as a withdrawal and getting the correct help so that you don't die during it. And I mean, that's the reality of it. Number 2 is actually heroin. Heroin, opiates, fentanyl is number 2. So when it comes to heroin, yes, a lot of people die from ODing on heroin. A lot of people die from ODing on fentanyl. I mean, very deadly, dangerous drug. But when it comes to withdrawals of it, it's not a deadly withdrawal, but it is one of the most painful withdrawals that there is. And I also put kratom under this list. Otherwise, I would have actually myself personally put kratom actually right underneath of when it came to heroin and stuff, because it bonds to your pain receptors. You have different neurotransmitters in your brain that control pain. NMDA receptor, as example, is one of the many pain receptors that you have. When it comes to heroin and opiates, they bond to this. which means now when it bonds to it, it doesn't get hyperexcited at all. It takes away all of your pain. Your body feels good. Your body feels relaxed. Even the pain that's there is you're not feeling any of it. All pain is registered through our brain, so it literally numbs all of that for you. When you do actually get off of these, again, they get hyper excited, which means you have massive physical withdrawals for it. Also, a lot of the side effects include there's vomiting. You can run into where there is constipation issues, hot and cold flashes, tons of body aches, night sweats. You're going through a lot when you go through the withdrawals of heroin. It is one of the most painful withdrawals there is. That's why there is MAT programs out there, because usually the pain is so bad that a lot of people will end up relapsing just to make the pain and the insanity stop. That is how intense this pain is. So you got to think it's like having the flu times 1,000. I literally mean that, like times 1,000. Imagine your bones are all broken and you have the flu, and you just that's what the withdrawals are like. Number one. Alcohol. Alcohol is the number one when it comes to physical withdrawal problems and pains and issues. Alcohol affects, again, the central nervous system. It is one of the deadliest withdrawals out there. About 15% of the people that go through DTs will die. And so that's actually a pretty high number if you think about it. And not everyone goes through DTs, delirium tremors, which are essentially, again, just like with benzos, it affects your central nervous system like a blanket. It gets hyperexcited. You go into cardiac arrest is one of the ways that it's the most fatal. You can go into seizures. It does numb a lot of your body, so body aches and body pains. There's weight, there's vomiting involved. A lot of times when it comes to it, malnutrition, you're not eating a lot. You can get brain damage from alcohol. I know from personal experience, my wife who ended up taking her life actually had wernixanthropy happen, which is your brain starts to shut down because it has a lack of thiamine and B vitamins. And so alcohol withdrawals is one of the most dangerous withdrawals out there. It doesn't get the credit sometimes that it should. And the reason that it's so important to be aware of that is so many people quit alcohol cold turkey, thinking that I'm just going to quit cold turkey, don't realize how fatal it is. I know more than a handful of people firsthand that have died from alcohol withdrawals. They died, one of them died in jail where he didn't tell anybody that he was an alcoholic, ended up cardiac arrest dying. That is how common it actually is. If you do want to quit alcohol, definitely get with a doctor on it. If you're drinking a 12-pack a day and you're like, hey, I'm going to quit. Like, you probably don't need a doctor. But myself, I was drinking 2 to 3/5 of vodka a day. I was going through DTs. I'm vomiting. I'm having trouble with the bathroom. I'm having the shakes, and I'm just dripping sweat at night. Can't sleep. Melatonin deficiency, just magnesium deficiency. Just everything is messed up. And no one told me that this was deadly, even though I'm sitting there shaking and I'm drinking water from a straw. No one told me of the challenges of it, and that's why I think it's so important to share, to make people aware of what these withdrawals truly are, how dangerous they are, and how deadly they are. Don't ever discount what withdrawals are. And when people are going through withdrawals, I mean, that is one of the biggest reasons we relapse is because of how painful they are. If you haven't hit the like and subscribe button, hit that like and subscribe button, because the more that we share our experiences and our stories, the more that it helps people going through this. The more it helps people educate, and who knows, maybe even it helps save somebody's life because they're a massive alcoholic and they're going to quit cold turkey and try and go to AA, and then all of a sudden realize that, oh wait, maybe I should go to my doctor too. That's what it's all about. And anybody who's gotten sober out there, dude, props to you. There's no right or wrong way of getting sober. I got a bunch of links down below. I even have links down below to NA and AA. I have links down below to my website that you can get different supplements that can help you through withdrawals. Find your way, man. Whether it's NA, AA, therapy, therapist, medication, inpatient treatment, outpatient treatment, just whatever it is, group therapy, find your way. Because once you give all the energy that you put into your addiction, into your sobriety, it gets amazing. It is worth it. And it's a fight, but it's a fight that you will win one day at a time. For the ones out there going through it, I am proud of you. Don't give up. It gets better.